Slowly start to bring movement to your body. Whether you're in a seated or a child's pose, you're going to slowly start to transition in any way to bring yourself into the middle of your mat in a hips width forward fold. Now we're going to be coming into quite a few of these forward folds, so just know that at any point in time, you need to grab water, you need to lift up your head if you're feeling nauseous or dizzy. Really put the priority of the sensations and the emotional output that your body brings up in the moment. But these longer holds are just as important as the flowing go, go, go postures. Again, using your breath to just cycle through any discomfort. Crown of the head stays parallel to the ground. You could modify your forward fold by bending your knees deeper, holding onto the elbows, or perhaps, as I am doing, pressing your elbows, the forearms against the thighs, and then just hanging forward. Try to soften that area right between your shoulder blades. When you do that, you'll start to soften the area at the nape of the neck. This will let go of any kind of tension build. For those that suffer with those tension headaches, very beneficial for release. And if you have that excess heat in the body, you're exhaling out of the mouth. Two more breaths. Perch up onto the fingertips. Either they can be on the mat or palms to the shins. Flat back. Continue to breathe here as you hold. We're going to come into another forward fold right from here by stepping your left leg back by about 2 feet. And if you look down to the heels, both heels are still at hips width. Right toes face straight forward. Left toes are at an angle. And then on an exhale, slowly start to come back into that forward fold, straightening out through that right leg. And then just allow the work to take place from a very passive way. You're about halfway through. Listen to your body again. At any point, I need to inhale flat back just to level out the blood. And then just work on getting into the leg stretch instead if the forward fold becomes too much. You've got your final 2 breaths. Again, perch up onto the fingertips, palms to the shin, flat back, inhale. Keep that flat back as you just transition, feet at hips width. Elbows to the thighs, slightly bend the knees. Take a moment here just to rest. Keep your chest reaching through the opening of the arms. Nice, and then slowly come back into that forward fold. Now stepping the right leg back by about 2 feet. Inhale to re-lengthen, and then exhale, slowly dive forward. And really work on softening through the shoulders. You can shake out your head in any way that feels good. And it's quite interesting because you'll feel that both sides of the body are a very different experience. Sometimes you might even get random thoughts, memories, particular ones that come up into the mind's eye. And it's neat because then you just reflect and you say, wow, so that's where that memory is held in my body. And through yoga, through practice, through time, it really does become a therapy physically, because not only do you get to know yourself much more deeper, but then you're able to work through the things that come up on your mat. So just a few more breaths here. Perching up onto the fingertips, flat back on an inhale. You're going to step the left leg back this time, tabletop. Take a few cat-cows, rolling out through the shoulders, dropping the belly, and then rounding out through your spine. Taking just a few more. Before you change these movements into a puppy dog, swaying the shoulders and hips from side to side. And then gently moving the knees to the side, and you're going to sit on the mat, extending the legs toward the opposite sides of your mat. So really widening out your stance. Plant the palms out in front of you, pulsing the hips up slightly, moving the flesh and the muscle back. And then keeping your feet flexed. Just take a moment here to get into a side stretch for a few breaths. Doesn't matter what side, we're going to just go on to the other one momentarily, and then we're going to start to introduce a little bit more movement just through this plane. Let's take about 2 more breaths on this side. Nice, and then slowly just from one side stretch to the other, you're just going to pulse. Whether you're really linking your breath per movement, or maybe just allow things to organically move, not controlling anything. Good. 1 more per side. Coming up center. Shoulders shrug up to the earlobes. Inhale. Exhale. Do that again. Shoulders up. Chin to the chest. Start to hinge from the hips and roll forward. Maybe you're down on the forearms. If you have props, Maybe you could take a block just underneath your forehead. And you want this to be very passive. You're here for just a few more breaths. Rounding the spine down as best as you can. If you had a prop, for the last 5 breaths, remove the prop and rather allow gravity to do the work as your head hangs in space. Planting the palms, head comes up last, roll up your spine vertebrae by vertebrae, slowly bending at the knees, hug the knees into the chest, chin to the kneecaps. Take 3 ujjayi breaths, so in and out of the nose, feel the breath coming right to the back of the throat. And then slowly coming into your child's pose. Knees can be apart or knees together if you want to continue to round out through your spine. And this child's pose, you're going to reach the arms back, take the forehead to the mat. And you're here for about 5 to 10 breaths, enjoying the stretch for what it is, before we come into that next add-on.